All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another session of Coffee with Envision. Today's topic is a radio guide for finding profit with high school sports. We are very fortunate to have with us today Sandy Davis, president of ComStar Network. Sandy operates a company that works with radio stations on various products. One of them is called New Client Generator, which helps develop and pitches for radio stations to use, and a lead generator for stations to create new business. And one of the other parts that he does work on is a company called SPORTSITE Systems. And SPORTSITE Systems is the creator and founder of High School SPORTSITE. And because of that, Sandy will be able to walk us through the whole idea of being able to create websites that can monetize and create a hyper-local website for radio stations to use. So with that all being said, I'm going to turn it over and we'll give a nice welcome to Sandy, and I'll let you take it from here.
So today I wanted to talk about generating new revenue in your market. So first, I brought in some numbers that I wanted you to take a look at. These are 5-year projections of local advertising up to the year 2021. And as you see, everything is coming along nicely. However, when we really take a look at what's happening, and these are 2017 numbers, for the first time ever, the internet has beaten television as the #1 place to advertise. And that's pretty amazing. It's not because television has done badly. It's because the internet is growing like crazy. We see newspapers that are substantially down. That graph used to be a lot bigger. And then we see radio and outdoor neck and neck, and then there's the rest. So, what you should take from this last slide is that the internet is huge. So let's take a look at what's going to happen in the next 3 years. The internet on your left is really growing from 86 to 116. That's huge. When we take a look at growth in TV, it's moderate at 70 to 75. If we take a look at growth in radio, it's pretty well flat. And then you've got the rest. Newspaper, again, is falling from 16.8 to 12.2, which is good news. So there's still some newspaper revenue that we can steal. But it's basically saying that radio is going to be flat for the next 3 years. And if we want to change that, the growth that we're looking from is from the internet. So let's take a look at the marketplace. In the past 20 years, newspaper, they've lost the most revenue of any media in your market. Newspaper share has fallen from the mid-30s to about 7%, continues to drop like a rock. Since the 1990s, internet advertising, both desktop and mobile, has really risen at the expense of print. Unfortunately, radio did not pick up the majority of newspaper dollars. The internet also has undertaken TV to become the largest medium in 2017. We just saw that. And also in the next 3 years, as we said, most of the revenue growth in your market is going to go to internet products. So how does that help me? It doesn't. So we took a look at some of the information that Price Waterhouse had. First of all, we talked about the radio market only going up 18.2 billion to 19.1 billion. That's not really a lot of growth in 3 years. When we take a look at compound annual growth rate, it really is only going to be 1.2%, and that's excluding satellite radio advertising, which doesn't amount to a lot of dollars. However, this is interesting. Terrestrial radio online advertising is going to be the fastest growing segment of the market with a compound annual growth rate of about 8.6%. That's way better than 1.2. That is amazing. So in your market, if you want to capture money, where you're going to get it is online advertising. Today, unfortunately, digital ad radio revenues represented just a small portion of all radio revenues. They comprise about 8.2% share of total radio dollars, okay, in your market. So if you're not getting 8.2% and getting less, you've got to start working harder. Online radio, this is really key, projected to grow to 10.7, almost 11% by the year 2021. So radio is starting to get better at internet advertising. And to be very honest with you, we haven't been very good. We didn't know how to sell the net. Our people didn't know how to sell it. It came with a lot of problems, but as we've grown, we've gotten better. So here's some things to consider. Most advertisers are feeling the need to buy internet products. And it's funny, but I talk to a lot of GMs across the country, and they say, and this doesn't happen in all markets, but in some markets, the internet is really hitting hard. And so I've said, well, what are the clients saying? Is it working for them? And mostly the clients don't know if the internet is working for them, but they know they want to be there. So they're allocating budgets. So we talked about radio internet revenue will be going up almost 11% by the year 2021. Now, remember, 11% is an average. There's going to be some stations that will not sell any radio advertising on the internet. And then there's going to be other stations that are going to make 20% of their revenue selling the net. Okay, that's the new reality of radio. So anyways, you can decide to be the guys that get 0, or you can be the guys that decide to get 20% of all your revenue. And now's a good time to start. So again, most of the growth in your market next 3 years is going to be to internet products that clients want to buy. And a lot of stations have decided to, instead of fighting the trend, they're going with the trend. They've decided to get great at selling internet products. And they've also figured out that the only way, and it's the only way, to access a growing digital budget is with internet products. You're not going to be able to access that digital budget any other way, and that's going to become a huge budget. Because we saw earlier that out in the real world, the internet just beat TV out for #1 advertising media. So that's what's coming. So currently, we got a lot of stations making their 8%, selling web banners, pre-roll, streaming, sponsorship features, and other social media opportunities. However, we've now got some stations that are getting into hyper-local websites. Now that's exciting. What we're talking to you today is about a hyper-local website that features local high school sports scores. And that's just a great new revenue opportunity. It's really designed in your market to attack clients that want to tie into the community. And that's not everybody. It may not be all of the big guys, but there's a lot of money there. A certain percentage of all of the clients would love to tie into high school sports, and this is your opportunity to get their money. So let's talk about high school sports. It's huge. 21,000 public schools in over 50 states. It's home to 8 million student athletes. And that's a lot of people. So when you take a look at parents and grandparents and relatives, that's a huge population. There is advertisers that want to access that demo, and they spend money.
Well, again, at this point, if you have questions, now's the right time to send them in. 3 ways to do it. Email daveh@envisionnetworks.com, Twitter @EnvisionNews, or on Facebook.com/GoEnvisionNetworks. Submit your questions now, and when we get to the end, we're going to leave a few minutes to be able to answer those questions directly.
That's terrific. Thank you, Dano. So let's talk about what is a high school sports site. Well, it's an opportunity to create hyper-local website that owns the high school sports image in your market. This is not something you do for 3 months. This is a long-term 3 to 5 year goal that you're going to not only own the high school sports image in the market, but you're going to make most of the money. It's designed to capture new digital revenue streams from local advertisers that want to tap into the high school sports community. It features high school sports scores, including stats. It has local sports stories. Just everything high school and sports is basically on this website. So again, our platform is proprietary, and it's incredibly easy to learn. So there's no web knowledge required. You're not going to have to spend a lot of money or any money actually on having other people run your website for you. Anybody at your radio station can run it with a really small training course. It's also exclusive to only one cluster in your market. So example, if you were to take this, we would not sell this to anybody else, and we would work with you to develop your high school sports image in the market. If you don't know what it is, it's a totally separate website as compared to your programming sites. On your programming sites, you probably would have a tile that said sports scores, click here. And it would take you, like KKEA on the island, it would take you to their high school prep sports site. So that's what it looks like. We've got a number of different looks so we can match a look to your websites. Also, and this is a big item, local scores are automatically fed into your website. You don't have to do a thing. They're instant, they're accurate, they're all based on social media feeds. So you really don't have to, um, you know, input anything daily. We do that for you. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about it. First of all, we just make it easy. We give you free online maintenance. We give you free automatic updates. You get real-time tracking of scores and stats in your market. There's no software to install. So this is the beauty of it. Anybody at your radio station can update this site from any computer. It's totally turnkey. There's nothing extra to buy. You get 24/7 support. We're always here. Uh, and we also give you, free web training so that anybody at your staff can kind of run this. It doesn't take a lot of time every day to update it, to put in clients. We designed it to be really easy. Also, again, there's no added designer, hosting, or domain costs. So how can you monopolize high school sports? That's pretty easy. It just gives you a whole lot of stuff to sell. It gives you excuses for going after a digital budget. So you can sell the athlete of the week or the athlete of the month. We sold that to McDonald's in Eureka, California. McDonald's had a budget that was not the agency budget, but a local budget, and so this wasn't big dollars. They basically bought it because they wanted the McDonald's sports image. You can a lot of stations are actually making a lot of money with Ask the Expert columns, so you can add that to the sports site. You can have team profile pages. Pretty well any idea you can put on this website. And again, you can sell all of the traditional stuff as well. The banner ads, tile ads. We even have a business directory. If you want to add a coupon center, our software allows you to do that. If you want to add sponsored content, that's not a big deal at all. Okay, so there's lots of places and lots of opportunities for you to add to the revenue aspect of your business. And then if you even want, you can expand your community outreach, even make it sexier by adding Facebook fan pages, Twitter fan pages, email blast, sponsored team pages, whatever you want to do. It's limited to your imagination. There are a number of ways for you guys to make money. It adds up to really good, solid revenue. Again, like anything else, you're going to have to grow it slowly, but you're going to get there. One day at a time. Again, we want to make it easy for your sales staff to be able to sell these products and features. So we built a whole bunch of customized sales presentations for your local team to use, and we even offer free training on how to get you started. So if you want to see what some of our packages look like, they feature magazine-grade artwork. They look absolutely spectacular. They're ready to go. Just price it and sell it, and that's all you have to basically do. And if you need a special package, we can definitely do that for you as well. So here's some key takeaways. There's an untapped audience out there of friends and family, more than 8 million student athletes across the country. And there's advertisers that are desperately wanting to access this affluent demographic. And now you got a way to do it. High school sports site, incredibly low cost and easy way to tap into this audience. There's no web designer costs, hosting or domain costs. We take care of all of that. It'll complement your current websites. It's really simple to maintain, and we offer free training. Also, our technology automatically updates the scores throughout the game using our social media feeds with zero added work for your station. It's just easy to keep your sports scores updated. You can also create multiple new revenue streams. You can sell tile ads, tower, banner, coupons, even a business directory, and unique sponsorship opportunities and a whole lot more. So we make it easy to sell your local advertisers with all of the free training for your staff, all of the built-in custom presentations, and you can use this on day one.
All right. We have a bunch of questions that have already come in, so we're going to start going through these, but by all means, if you still haven't submitted or you want a question, we'll start plowing through as many as we can and get those answered. So first up here, Sandy, for you, this comes from Scott. How do we, and I guess he's referring to the station, gather and populate the site with local content?
Well, first of all, you decide who you want to target. So if you want to add, example, 50 high schools, that's your market. All you have to do, you open up 50 pages, you open up, say, pages that will describe the high school and that team, And those are generic. You don't have to change those all the time. So you build up a number of generic pages. That's done once a year, or not even that. And then you've got your local sports scores that update hourly. Okay, so your website is active, and there's a static section as well. Next question. I
Okay.
hope that answers that.
I hope so too. From Mike, he wants to know how long does it take to actually update the site?
Well, actually, it doesn't take any time to update the site once it's built, because again, what you're updating are the sports scores that happened last night. That happens automatically. The other stuff, you really don't want to build a website that's really high maintenance. So you want to build the rest of the website with static pages that'll feature the high school and the sports that they offer, so you can cover a lot of them. It's kind of like a profile. And then you've got sports scores, which are currently being updated. Now, if you want to go crazy and really make this super local, our system will allow you to give passwords and IDs to various schools so they can update their own section if they wanted to do that. Okay, so um, there's a lot of different options. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want.
Libby wants to know what type of sports other than football can they have on their site?
You can have, frankly, any sports you want. But again, what you really want to go for is, the question is, what do people want to know about? Well, number one is going to be football. What you want to do is cover off all of the major sports. And I don't know if that answered the question or not.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it does cover the major sports. We do know that. If people asked, I think there was one high school that wanted to know about golf and said,
Yeah.
Can you submit golf scores? And the bottom line is that yes. The answer is that
Yes.
as long as coaches are reporting or there's
Right.
social network and people are tracking, those scores will show up in
Right.
the site as well. So.
And if you want to track something that's not being tracked, you can do it locally.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Joe wants to know if the station would be permitted to stream the games on their website.
Absolutely. Again, one of the great aspects with high school SPORTSITE is if this was the NFL, you'd have to pay giant bucks. If it was college, say football, you'd have to pay huge dollars. Right now, high schools, want to get exposure. They'll work with radio stations, so you'd have to cut a deal with them. But certainly, you could stream it on your website if you've got the technology to do that. That's simply a player and a link. So if you're streaming your radio station, you can probably stream this.
So I think along the same line, question from Mark, if I have multiple reporters at different games, so they must already be covering, I assume,
Sure.
local games in there. Is there a way to have more than one person logged into the site to update, live photos
Sure.
or videos or anything like that?
As a matter of fact, you can have as many people as you want update your website. And here's something that most people don't know. We've also got the system where you can assign people only to a certain portion of the website. So if there was ABC High School and you wanted the people at ABC High School to update the site, you could give them a user ID and password that would not screw up the rest of your website if they didn't know what they were doing. If they would only have access to their page. And so they could update it. So you could do this with 50 different people at any high school.
All right, I think we have the time for one more, Sandy. Sorry, there's a whole bunch more, but we told everyone we'd do this in less than 20 minutes. So last question, and we'll wrap it from here. It comes from Karen, was asking I guess what is the type of platform that the high school SPORTSITE is built on?
Actually, we have built it on our own proprietary format. There's nothing out there like it. It was built really for ease of use. If you can handle Word, you can build a website with it. And then anything you don't know, we're here to answer all of your questions and to get you there. We'll help you to build your website by showing you how to do it. Once it's built, we'll show you how to keep it updated.
Fantastic. Sandy Davis, I want to thank you. Thanks for spending some time with everyone and walking them through high school sports and how to monetize it. I want to remind everyone that the session has been recorded. So for all those who have been on and want to see the full presentation and review it and see all the notes and slides, you will automatically receive that by email before the week is out. In addition, I want to remind everyone that there is more Coffee with Envisions coming down, and so pay attention to the trades in your email and all that, and we will certainly send you an invite for the next one. So until then, I want to thank you all for being here, and we look forward to speaking with you again. Take care.